Hello and welcome to DVB Vox Pop, a podcast featuring voices from Generation Z.
We are your hosts, Nyingsu
and Tuya.
Tune in every week to hear young people share their personal stories
and how they hope to achieve a future democratic Myanmar
free from military dictatorship. To listen, follow DVB English in your podcast app.
DVB Vox Pop is available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Nyingsu. Welcome back to DVB Vox Pop. Before we start, I just wanted to warn you that this interview may trigger you, so please take care. I'm with Thit, who is a member of the Student Union Alumni Force, and he was arrested in Yangon during the coup, and after that he was tortured at the interrogation center for 8 days and imprisoned for 6 months at insane prison. Since I wanted to ask him so many questions about his experiences, welcome to DVB Vox Pop, Thit.
Hi Nyingsu and DVB Vox Pop. Let me introduce myself briefly. I am one of the participants of the University Student Union Alumni Force. As you mentioned, University Student Union Alumni Force is one of the non-violent organizations which is consistently participating in the anti-hunter movement. And also, I am the former vice president of the Myanmar Aerospace Engineering University Student Unions as a student advocate. I participated in many political and student rights movements throughout my student life. I was one of the participants of the students' protests for the education reform in Myanmar in 2014. At the times, I think U Thant Singh governments drafted and trying to enact the national education law without the opinions of the stakeholders and students and teachers, and that is why I decided to leave the classroom and participated in protests. And then in 2019, I graduated from Myanmar Aerospace Engineering University with a bachelor degree in the propulsions and flight vehicle.
So how did the student union start in your university, and why did you join? Is there any motive?
Yes, in 2012, during the U Thant Singh government, most of the universities trying to re-establish the student unions. Our university was one of the universities that trying to organize like that. During that period, like university were sent to place far away from the city. The student rights were being violated at the time. So the government was trying to separate the politics and the students. And so I have decided to vote for the student rights and then join the senior students who were planning to form student unions. Eventually, Myanmar Aerospace Engineering University Student Union was founded on the 19th July 2013. After that, we prepared to mobilize the students for student rights and had discussion and consultation with our university authority on the student rights issues. Honestly, what we noticed is that our generation was grown up another military dictatorship like the U Thant Singh era, and so that's why they has been systematically brainwashed by their educations. So the consequence of the being brainwashed is that they were afraid of this. They were afraid of the student unions. They thought that if they joined the student union, how can I say, they would be arrested or kicked out of the universities. So at the time we realized that our students need to be aware of what are their rights and what is the student union first. They need to aware first, and that's why to be honest, we were also afraid of being kicked out from the universities because of founded the university student unions. However, we were also students, and that's why we were more afraid of losing our rights than the kick out of universities. And so I used to dedicate my student life in the student unions, and that was I spent how I spent my student life. Yeah.
And also, I agree with you because the government, takes out all the university outside of the city. I know your university in Meitila, which is very far, from the city, and also my university is the same like that.
Okay.
So you did participate in quite a lot of political events that happened in Myanmar, and so you graduated and then you started a career. But in the 2021, the coup happened. Since you are a former members of the Myanmar Aerospace Engineering University Student Union, and you're also included in the student protest back in the 2015, as you mentioned, what do you feel when you heard the military seize the power? Do you have any concern?
After the student life, to be honest, I decided to leave the political field. I just wanted to live my ordinary life and as an engineer. And although I had a chance to work in Japan, where I want to dedicate myself as an engineer, and unfortunately I needed to postpone due to the COVID-19 and my terrible health problems in 2020. After overcoming that kinds of situations, the Myanmar military seized the power from the civilian government. So not only my dreams, but also the democratic transformation of our country were destroyed. That's why I have decided to join the anti-junta movement and founded the University Student Union Alumni Force, as I mentioned, with my old comrades who participated in the student unions. How can I say? The earliest of the 2021, especially in April, I was detained while participating in the anti-junta movement in Yangon. And now I am participating in the General Strike Collaboration Committee, GSCC, and also the General Strike Coordination Body as a members of GWC, mean like the General Working Committee, as a representative of the University Student Union Alumni Force. And another one is that I am a member of the Joint Coordination Committees of Education, also known as the GCC Educations, as a representative of the GSCCs. And now this is my political and revolutionary job. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were detained during the coup, and how did it happen, and why do they arrest you?
As I mentioned, I was detained in Yangon on the 17th April 2021, and after the military coup, there were protests in the country, and the military tried to detain the young people, the student union members, as well as the former members like X, and I had participated in non-violent protests before being detained. That is why we won't live in our own house because of they would come and detain us, and that's why I had to live rented place that can be considered a safe house. There's some other problems because the landlords demand a lot of the personal information from the tenants, especially like the right informations and documents. But it is very difficult for us to rent our house with the right informations and documents, because the military is trying to arrest the activists like us in various ways. So I was detained when I left the safe house to go to the protest with my 4 members of USVF, and we were arrested by the large numbers of the soldier and police, and we were taken to the police station, and they did send investigations. Later they sent us to the interrogation centers under the military. Yeah.
So you arrive at the interrogation center. Did they torture you, and how bad is it? If you're okay, if you're okay to share us, can you explain about it?
Okay. Yes. Of course. It was the worst times of my life, and even though I had read about such incidents in books before, but I never thought that I will experience them myself. And to be honest, I already know that engaging in politics could lead to arrest or maybe even kill. I know because of this. Our country is Myanmar, and our military is very bad. We know that, and that is why. However, I never thought that it would be tortured so so severely. I was sent for the 2 interrogation centers and beaten. They demanded where my comrades live and location of the safe house. When I didn't answer, they beat against that. So my entire body was injury by their brutalities, and how can I say? These sections typically occur in the evening around sunset, lasting throughout the whole night before I was returned to my room. At the time, I got some smell from the soldiers. I think that they've been drinking alcohol or maybe something like that, and so I think they have drank. I was denied access to get the clean water and took a showers. And instead, they forced me to drink water from the toilets. So yeah, so very bad. That's why I said there was the worst time of my life, and I spent 8 days in 2 interrogation centers. Firstly, I was taken to the Sribida interrogation center under the military, and then I'm not quite sure, but I thought they didn't get some answer from me what they want. That's why they sent me to another interrogation center. If I'm not wrong, I think that there was the 9-mile interrogation center under the military or so. Yes, I spent a day in these 2 interrogation centers, and then I was sent to the trial wards at the insane prisons. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that, and also I'm really glad that you're now outside of Myanmar and trying to start your new life. I mean, yeah. So after you've been tortured, you said that you arrived to insane prison, and when you arrived to insane prison, did you get a chance to get hospitalized, your wounds and your body situations?
So as I mentioned before, I spent a day in 2 interrogation centers without even the clean water and purifying water. So that's why I think I got some disease and maybe some effects I got. And so when I arrived prisons, the prison to be honest, the prison lacks adequate the healthcare facilities. That's definitely there are only a few medicine available, and there's two kinds of hospital in prisons. The main hospital in prisons, and the another one is a small clinic in the respective how can I say that a small clinic in the wards. And so the ward clinics don't have doctors and also are not equipped to provide proper medical care. In fact, I think these are nothing more than a table and a chair. The inmates, inmates are forced to treat each other due to the lack of the medical staff and resources. So I think the situation is so terrible, and it is not even calling wards a clinic. I think that is why there is no medicine available, and those who sick are only sent to the ward clinic instead to the hospital. The result is that many political prisoners will die during the COVID-19 pandemics in the insane prisons. Despite this, the prison authority have lying that that dying was caused by some other disease instead of COVID-19. They lied, so very bad. So I think we have been violated in the human rights in the insane prison. So yeah.
So we can see inside the prison there is no medicine at all, and if some prisoners ill, they don't have a chance to go to the hospital. Is it right?
Yes. How can I say? As I mentioned, 2 clinics, hospital and small clinics, and so mostly these things they want us to go to the small clinics and don't want to go to the hospital because they want to separate the political prisoner and others, the prisoner from the other wards. Because if we want to go to the hospital, and we have to go outside of our wards, and that is why they worry about to contact the other prisoner and the political prisoner, and that's why yes.
Okay. So and also let's say you're inside the prison. So can you describe your daily routine inside your room or cell? How can I mention that? Can you take us to your insane cell prison?
Okay. So definitely, I think it was totally different. Right now situation and the situation was I was there at the time, so it's totally different because I was detained in the earliest of the 2021. That's why the situation is totally different, and so I think I can't expect to overwhelm all of the prison situations because the situation is totally different. So, but I would say some things that I had a lot of bad memory in the prisons. One of the problems I faced was dealing with the prisoner who were sentenced for a crime in prison. There is an illegal system in which political prisoners are controlled by the criminal prisoners. So prison authority have been committing bribery to give and the how can I say the prisoner administrator positions to the criminal prisoners. This is one of many bribes by the prison authority. Usually, people who are not the political prisoner give money to the prison authorities to get such a positions. So the issue is about not having enough shower in prisons. We are allowed 10 cups of water for showers. In first 10 cup of water before soaping ends, and 10 cup of water after soaping. And then one of the criminal prisoner counts the amount of cups when we were taking the showers. Sometimes we cannot even get the 10 cups, and so that's why the health care is not good, and so many diseases occurs. And so one day I had a problem with that kind of criminal prisoner named Thit, who supervised the shower assigned by the prison authorities. He was prison for murder and trying to fight me when I had taken more than 10 cups of water. So he's trying to punch me, and I said, if you want to punch me as you like, and I will continue showers, I can start. And so there were also other similar incidents. Some of the political prisoners are actually forced to collect the sewage, that's too bad, right? Sewage, and some of them have to do chores for the prison authority.
When did you get released from prison?
19 October 2021. I spent 6 months in the prisons. Yeah.
I know that even you're released from the prison, the military might still stalk you and maybe re-arrest you again. So how did you manage that situation?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think as I mentioned before, a safe house is very important for us. We won't live in our own house, and that's why we have to live in a rented place, and so that can be considered to be safe. We have sang security protocols, how to live in safe house and how to make a protest and how to use the digital device, and how to face the landlords, and something like that. We have a lot of scenarios and we have a lot of security protocol, but I think we should not say here that security protocol because of security concern, right? So.
Of course, not to expose to the military. Yeah, and also you said that you are one of the member of the non-violence revolutionary movement, like flash mob protesting in the cities and stuff. So they are not easy at all. So as the member, does your group have the difficulties, or is it very hard to make flash mobs protest now?
Activists have been facing many difficulties since the revolution started. So, the values of Myanmar has decreased, and the leading to high the commodity price that affect the publics. The price of renting safe house has significantly increased, and that's why money is one of problem for us. On the other hand, if we have enough money to rent a safe house, the landlord don't want to rent a safe house for me, because I am the young people, and maybe I think so. They might be worried about that. Like I might be activists or students from the student unions or student activists or something like that. That's why they worry about that, and that's why they don't want to rent their house to young people. If we have enough money, we don't rent a safe house. It is very difficult. It's very difficult to rent a safe house from the landlords, and also another one is that they demand a lot of right documentations and information. So as I mentioned, we can support. We cannot provide that kinds of information to them because we are the activists, and so that is why we have to live in the sea house securely, and like the sound likely, and that's why many difficult and to rent a safe house. Landlord may also refuse to rent a safe house to young people. Another difficulties are that non-violent activists still need assistance for foods, for internet bills, and the electricity bills and water bills, or the other emergency expense for the health to live in safe house. So I think especially the activists who are stay in the city like Yangon or Mandalay or that kinds of city needs a lot of humanitarian assistance or like the to extend to participate in this revolutions. Yeah, a lot of difficulties.
Yeah, I understand that. So, and also, a lot happened during these 2 years. The armed group PDF and the non-violence groups and NUG and other armed groups, and the military keep killing innocent people. Airstrikes and a lot happened. So, what do you think of Myanmar's future? What do you see this revolution? Give me your opinion.
Okay. It is a little difficult to get some opinion about the revolutions. I think it is important to find justice for the war crimes committed by the Myanmar military. Another one is that not only the activists, but also the entire country of Myanmar needs humanitarian assistance from the international. But it should not be through the militaries. Otherwise, the military will use the assistance for their interest. Another opinion is that the arms strike is one of the pressure mechanisms. I think that we put as much the pressure to the military as how can I say that, as we can. So we studied this revolution with the political weight, and the arms strike is in the middle. The arms struggle is the one of the pressure mechanism we. But we believe that in the end, this revolution will be end with the political weights. So I think so. We should be balance the politics way and the armed struggle weights. So yeah.
Okay, good answer. So, is there anything you wanted to share with us?
Okay. Our country has been affected by the political crisis and civil war for more than 70 years. To solve this problem, I believe that military need to leave the politics first. And the current Spring Revolution is the most significant revolution in the history of Myanmar. So we need to, we need to not go back to the 2008 Constitution eras. In order, if we want to build a true federal country, it is important to solve the ethnic issues, So it is impossible to beat a federal country with the 2008 constitution, and also it is impossible to solve the ethnic issue under the 2008 constitutions. So I think this is a good opportune moment to address the issues. I think the military is facing an aesthetic pressure, So it is important that we should unite as much as possible, and at the same time, we trying to get the political agreement with the ethnic leaders. That should be at the same time, and then I hope that transitional constitution is important to emerge as soon as possible. Yeah, that's actually.
Well, thank you for sharing your experiences and your everything. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nyesu, and thanks to DVB Vox. Yes.